So the question everybody wants to know, what's the best way to get a guy lean, maybe jacked, maybe a little bit more healthy? Because that's what we're all here for, right? So I will tell you what the typical fat loss program is. And it was a little bit alluded to with the transformation stuff earlier in the other module regarding metabolism and nutrition. So cutting calories and going low carb for life is usually the first thing that guys will do. Well, I gotta cut carbs because I gotta lose weight. Guess what? You are absolutely right. Cutting carbs will instantly cause weight loss because of the water. It's not body fat. So what cutting carbs drastically can do is cut your ability to actually have energy to train. Not something we really want to do. But if you have a lot of body fat or a lot of stored energy, then you can get away with going low carb in the beginning, but not forever. Most fat loss plans are low carb forever. And then what drugs is this person willing to take? What pharmaceuticals can help them get there? And then let's do 4 days of circuit style lifting, where basically you take 30 seconds max in between training or in between exercises. And that's your only rest. So it doesn't really allow you to reproduce the same intensity, and it does not allow you to go really heavy on the weight. We need to have that. Then add cardio, because gotta add cardio. And then add stimulants. Bang energy drinks all day, not only in the morning, and coffee, and fat burners for that extra stimulation. And then add more cardio when that stops working. And then we're gonna cut more calories because we're also at a plateau. And once that stops working, then we're gonna add more cardio because 2 hours a day is not enough. And then we're gonna add more drugs. And then all of a sudden we have this on our plate and we're just gonna add more cardio. Because when it stops working, it's add cardio, cut calories. We don't need to do that. I want you guys lifting. A lot of guys like workouts that make them sweat. I get it, that's great, but can we get back to traditional weightlifting where we're going heavy enough to demand a 3 to 5 minute rest period? I'm talking deadlifts that are so heavy where you do 5 reps, you're like, oh man, I wish I had 10 minutes to rest. That is the type of intensity that I'm talking about. Not going hard on a Peloton or going hard in a circuit. Those have their time and place, but we have to lift heavy to produce that dense muscle that is going to be the platform for the body that you want going forward. And then if you're trying to gain muscle, people will go into this massive bulk and call it a dirty bulk and eat everything under the sun. Well, I'm bulking, bro, so I could eat like whatever I want. Not so much. It actually doesn't require that much more food. And what if I told you there's a better way to do it, where you can gain muscle and lose body fat at the same time? Even if you're a seasoned lifter, even if you're natural, even if you have no idea what testosterone replacement is or steroids or anything, if you've never been in the gym, if you've been in the gym forever, there is a way to do that. We address your health markers. What is your blood pressure? What's your resting heart rate? How do we improve that? Walking actually improves a lot of it. Aerobic exercise improves a lot of it. But we can't just do aerobic exercise. We have to add lifting onto that. And then taking in enough protein. Not one person has ever come in eating sufficient protein. Maybe 1 or 2 guys in my lifetime that I have coached. Protein is going to be your friend. It will keep you full, and you can actually burn calories eating protein. So protein for the win, lifting 3 to 4 times a week, and then walking. It really is that simple, guys. Let's not overcomplicate it. We don't have to go all in and work out 6 days a week and run 6 days a week just to drop body fat. We don't. Sleep. You've heard me say it a million times. Cannot stress it enough. Then build your calories up, build your ability to put more effort into your training, otherwise known as your work capacity, and then a lot of cool shit happens. It's awesome. And then we have the specific instructions for you guys. I work with guys. You do well with specifics and structure. Do this number of times, this time during the week. Boom, done. Easy. Follow instructions, you get it done. And then lastly, it's testosterone replacement therapy. So when do we talk about this and when do we discuss this with our doctor? There is a lot that goes into understanding testosterone replacement. So some of the Guidelines that I will give you guys. Number one, do not think for a second that health insurance will cover this. You want to seek out a practitioner who does this all the time and only testosterone replacement. But beware of those drive-by-night clinics that are willing to give you everything without really even knowing anything about you. So the common fears with testosterone replacement are social stigmas where people think you're cheating, or guys will think they're cheating. They think, I'm just giving in, or I'm just settling, or I have to just give up. And, estrogen is bad and we should avoid estrogen. And that's mostly from the bodybuilding world. But the bigger ones too are prostate cancer and also heart attacks. I can tell you with confidence, the doctors that I work with have all the literature, as do I, that have upended and refuted everything regarding testosterone causing prostate cancer or cancer. It does not. It does not cause heart attacks. In fact, you are at a higher risk of having a cardiovascular event if you have low testosterone. You are also at a higher risk of having prostate cancer if you have low testosterone. It is much different than what the media will make you think. And a lot of doctors have not evolved with the literature, so they still tell guys that they shouldn't go on it. I have doctors I work with that have men with active prostate cancer who are on TRT. They never got taken off of it. Same with guys who have had cardiovascular events, who have atrial fibrillation, who have had everything under the sun, and they can still go on testosterone replacement. It's not a panacea, but it is going to restore you to what optimal feels like for you. So if you ever go to get your labs done and you are told you're too young or you look fit, or I've heard everything. You have every right to function optimally as a man. So if a doctor has said any of these things to you, it's time to find a new doctor. It's time to understand and learn what direction you need to take as a man to make sure that you're functioning optimally, because TRT is not talked about enough. And I always bring it up with guys because it should not be this taboo subject. It does not mean you're giving up. It means that you're actually able to feel like you did when you were younger and every way that you should feel. It's not steroids. It's not making you explode into muscles. In fact, a lot of my clients who are on TRT, you would never guess they are just by how they look. You still have to do the work from a nutrition and diet perspective and a lifting perspective and sleep and addressing all those markers. But TRT, in my opinion, is something that guys will end up on and should end up on. All of them. In fact, I've written a course on this called Testosterone School because nothing like this exists to lay out the TRT 101 as well as nutrition, fitness, sleep, and everything else I kind of went over in this course. How do we address these things? So for testosterone, understanding what you're getting into and that the fact that it does not cause all these scary things that many people will make it think that it does cause is understanding, it's actually going to make you feel a lot better, and it's not steroids, and it's not giving in, and it actually could lead to a lot of really good things. But it's just having the knowledge and not having to convince a doctor. If you ask me, well, how do I tell my doctor? How do I convince my doctor this? You want to find a new one. Trust me, there are practitioners out there that are doing it correctly, who have clients who have no side effects because they're being managed correctly. It's all about finding the right person to handle that stuff.